Are we
We're
live?
live. Yes.
We're
Love.
live. Okay, so I guess I'm going to do the introduction for today. Welcome to the Tangbrolio's podcast. My name is Wyatt, and then if you guys want to introduce yourselves.
I'm Eric
Or,
Steiner. I'm from the Boise area.
I'm Hwan Kim. Call me Hwani or Chic. or
we
Kim.
we kind of gave him the nickname Juani. I don't know
Funny.
if he's
Yeah.
totally okay with
When
that,
I go to
but
local matches, people who really know me, they call me Hwan Chick, or my besties call me Chic. But people who don't know me just call me Kim. They can't pronounce my name.
Well,
No, my name.
we're gonna spread the Juani. We're gonna get everybody calling you Juani. So
that's going to be the one that sticks.
yeah.
Yep.
And then so hey, real quick, we got a local shooter here. He's actually an American citizen, but he's from England. But I just started this thing where I started calling him Australian on Facebook, on the forums, at the matches, and so now there's people that really think he's Australian. So I love it.
Yeah, and you posted he's like the first GM from Australia or something
Yeah,
like that.
and
His
people
dad
believe
got
that.
on there and he was like pissed as shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
it was so funny.
okay, cool. All right.
Okay, so our topic for the day, or our first topic, is going to be the best lesson that we've learned so far in shooting. That's elevated our game the most, as far as like maybe we went from a certain division to another division, or maybe we just saw an increase in our skills the most. And so I was going to start it off, and my idea or my lesson that I learned was visual patience. And I've been really reading a lot into this as far as like the theory behind it and different. I don't want to say theory because I know that that's a fact, but more ideas how to do it over and over. And so I've been reading a lot of Brian Enos and a lot of different Ben Stager, JJ Racaza, Max Michel, and they all kind of talk about how without visual patience, you're not waiting for your sights, and so you're shooting faster than you're able to see your sights. And Eric, you're muted, just so you know. I don't know if you know that or not. And then and so visual patience to me is it helped me a lot to be able to shoot more alphas, which in production is going to be obviously the most important thing. And so visual patience not only does that, but it also controls. I feel like it controls my mental game, or at least the aspect of the mental game. As far as I don't have to think about certain things, I can more control my own shooting using visual patience. So if that kind of makes sense in a weird, convoluted way, so.
Okay. Juani, what do you? What's your best lesson?
Wait, I have a question for the visual patients because I heard a couple definitions from here and there. So when you talk about visual patience, is that like waiting for the sight to come back kind of visual patience?
I think it can be waiting for the sight to come back, or it could be also like if your eyes move faster than the sight's moving. Does that make sense? So if your eyes are already transitioning to a target faster than that sight's tracking back to it, then you're going to be moving off the target before you're shooting it.
Oh yeah. I had that
Um,
problem. Yeah.
and
Like
so I've kind of been working on that with some different methods, but also, yeah, I mean that's kind of the idea behind visual patience. But then it kind of morphs into focus and then concentration a little bit, at least from what I've been reading. And I'm still trying to understand it a little bit more, but I feel like right now that's helping my game the most. So.
oh okay. Yeah, I think you kind of talked about there's a podcast, Steve Anderson podcast. I think he said people would like to pull the trigger before they really actually see the sight.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess. Okay.
Steve Anderson's a fun.
okay. Yeah, the best
Headphones just
shooting
kicked off.
advice I know. Well, it's just I actually watched so many videos, and these two shooters, Ben Steger and JJ Racaza, gave the same. They were both asked what was the best shooting advice they got, and I think that's the best shooting advice I can give, which is set the speed that you want to go and don't slow down and try to see more. What he meant was when you are shooting sporadic hits, but you're going crazy fast, people will probably say, "Hey, slow down and get the hits." And the two shooters were trying to say, "Don't slow down. Slowing down is not necessarily getting your hits down, but try to see more and confirm the correct or proper sight and acceptable sight picture they need to get. So that was really good because when I started shooting, I was hosing hard, but I was keep shooting mic and stuff, and I didn't want to slow my speed down because that was the speed about national champions, world champions gonna go, and I didn't want to slow down from their point of speed. I wanted to go as fast or faster than those champions. And these two world top shooters gave advice: don't slow down, just see more, see faster. And I think that was kind of time distortion thing, maybe. But that was the best advice that actually made my speed increased, but my accuracy stayed the same level.
I
So
think
don't slow down.
I think an important thing that could help with that also. Have you listened to the latest Steve Anderson podcast?
No, I don't know.
Oh, go listen to it because it talks a lot about the idea of slowing down and getting your hits, and it'll
Hey,
explain. It explains.
Do you know what the title of that podcast is, just in case someone watches
called,
this a couple weeks later?
That Shooting Show.
Okay.
That's what it's called. And it's on iTunes, and you can also Google Steve Anderson shooting.
Well, I mean, do you know what the episode name is?
I could look it up while you're talking about your best lesson.
You know, maybe put it in the comments or something like that. Like I said, in case somebody's watching this a couple weeks later while they're reloading or trying to shut out their significant other.
Yeah, exactly.
So my best lesson actually has to do with how to practice better. You can break up practicing in two different areas: dry firing and live firing. When it comes to dry firing, I point people in the direction of Ben Stoger's books. They're solid. They're a great foundation for everybody, no matter what your end goal is. But with live fire, when I first started practicing, I would set up mini stages. Now, that was a lot of fun because you can bring friends out and you just do mini stages and run around and you learn movement and stuff like that. However, I was stuck in B class. I was B class for life. And this best lesson I actually learned from a shooter that both you guys know. He's an HK-sponsored shooter, goes by Range Lawyer. One of the things that he got me to start doing was shooting classifiers more in practice that worked on fundamentals. My movement was great. My stage planning was great, early on for a new shooter, but I couldn't stand and shoot. And it really showed when I tried to do things like Steel Challenge. I really sucked bad at standing and shooting. But when I started working on these classifiers and developing the fundamentals that they kind of test you on, all of a sudden my percentages started instantly going up. So, I mean, that was the biggest and best lesson that I learned from Range Lawyer, was to not just focus on mini stages, for my live fire practice, but also work on some classifiers, specific ones, little things like accelerator, stuff like that. So, anyways, that was my best lesson. So.
Yeah, Range Lawyer is a stud.
He is a stud, but you won't hear me say that. But so, anyways, the second topic that we wanted to discuss was what we're doing in the off-season prep. I don't know what the weather's like where you guys are at, but here in Idaho, it's getting dark about 6 o'clock, and I'm an 8 to 5er, so that really doesn't leave me much time to practice in the evenings like I used to. And plus, it's getting pretty dang cold. So what I'm doing is I'm really gearing down now. I'm not really dry firing. I used to dry fire twice a day at work. I don't even bring my gear with me anymore. I'm really focusing on reloading. In the past, I was very nervous about doing mass batches of reloading, just because what if something gets screwed up, or you sell a gun and this load's not good for it anymore. However, I know next year I know the exact 2 guns I'm going to be shooting. I know the exact load data that's going to be perfect in those. So now I'm finally comfortable with mass producing some ammo. I'm not one of those fancy guys with an auto drive or even with a 1050. But so I want to really build that up this winter for the summer. I kind of want to get to the 15,000 range just to get started. Like I said, I'm not changing divisions or anything, so I actually feel comfortable finally for the first time since I've been competitive shooting that I can load up that much ammo and none of it will go to waste. It doesn't help to have a bullet sponsor, Leatherhead Bullets, so that makes it a little bit more affordable. I can't load 15,000 one go. I just simply can't afford it, let alone find all the components at one time. So besides reloading, a lot of people talk about, how can I get better in the off season? I can dry fire, I can live fire, I can take shooting classes. Heck, I can even work out so my movement gets better. But I think some of the other things that people forget about is getting more involved in your club. Something that I'm doing that's actually making me a better shooter, not necessarily fundamentally, but knowing the game, is I'm designing stages. Designing stages helps me see how people game my stuff, and I'm learning about that. I also am mentoring new shooters. That kind of helps refresh all those core fundamentals back in my mind. And I just took an RO class. Everybody says, take the RO class. It helps give back to the sport. It helps improve your sport locally, and that's fantastic. But one of the biggest things, too, about being an RO is you actually know your rights. You learn more about the game. I just got done with that. I still have to take my final test to be official. But I'm really excited. It was a day and a half, and it was freaking amazing. I learned so much, and I had a good time. One of the number one things I learned is don't ever friends request an NROIA instructor. Carl Schmidt, he kept bringing up throughout the entire class of how he's caught people, doing this or this video on Facebook, and it was kind of like the ongoing joke is that's the one thing we learned is don't Facebook friend request somebody like that, because they'll see your video and be like, oh, you should have DQ'd there or something like that. But actually, Carl was an awesome instructor. He's a good guy. If you have the opportunity to take your class from him, I definitely recommend it. I can talk about everything I learned in the class, and I would just get tongue-tied. I learned so much. But I honestly feel like a better shooter, and it's really about knowing your rights as a shooter. There's so many little things, because we're not all certified ROs, and we're just trying to do our best with our level 1 clubs. So it also protects you from getting screwed on penalties that you didn't occur. It helps you from, if there's something you want to do and somebody won't let you, but it's well within your ability. I mean, it just stuff like that. It was a really beneficial thing. So, anyways, that's what I'm doing in the off season.
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So, I heard there's a RO class in Washington too sometime in this winter, but I was like, well, why do I want to become an RO? And one of the guys said, oh, you get, what, $10 off for match entry or something? I'm pretty broke, so what kind of benefits do you get if you become an RO?
And that would be something specific to your club. Local clubs are different on what they'll do. We all volunteer to RO no matter what because we have to have them or we can't shoot a match. So at the local club match, I can get a discount if I design stages or if I help out with the match directing. And that's not the common. But what you'll see at level 2 and up matches, if you're a certified RO, they'll let you actually RO the match, and a lot of them, if not every single one, will let you shoot bigger matches for free. I mean, could you imagine going to nationals even? Your match fees comped, your hotel is comped. That's a pretty big expense that you don't have to pay. Now, you kind of lose out shooting with your buddies, but then again, you get to see how
you get to shoot with ROs. That's the other problem.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like you get to see everybody shoot your stage, and you get to see how everybody's brain works and how everybody games it. You know what I mean? So yeah, it'd be nice to follow Super Squad around the entire match. But I think seeing the wide array of how shooters shoot, your specific stage would be kind of cool. But I'm too big on shooting with my buddies, and so the discount doesn't really offset the what I lose out on getting to shoot with friends and whatnot.
So if I'm certified RO, I have to RO at the match in order to have that benefit, right?
Yes. You have to work it. At least, so around here you don't get any benefit at level 1 matches if you're a certified RO. You only get a benefit if you design stages and you help build them.
Right.
So there's no real benefit for level 1 matches around here.
Yeah. And just to clarify, I'm getting into stage design, and it's not for a match discount. I'm saving myself $6. I'm designing stages because every time I design a new stage, it gets critiqued, and I'm learning. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm helping out the club and trying to put on some difficult stages, and maybe I'm kind of putting on some stuff that I know I want to work on. But it's more than just giving back or trying to get a discount. I mean, you're actually learning more as a shooter.
How about disadvantage? I feel like if you're an RO, you're busy ROing people. Is there any disadvantage?
Yes. very much.
Well,
I won't
sorry,
even
go ahead, Matt.
RO people because at our club it's voluntary, and even though I'm not a certified RO, you still have to. I mean, you can kind of volunteer to RO at least for a couple of people, and I won't even do it anymore because people either get super pissed at you for calling them out on a rule that they broke, or it just distracts me so much that I don't focus on my own shooting, and so now
Yeah.
I just help paste and set up and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, here, here where I'm from, our local clubs, we typically get about 3 people that are not necessarily qualified, but can RO very well, and we just rotate them out. So you're probably ROing 2 to 3 shooters at a time, and people that want to get in an RO's face and stuff like that, and not talk about something intelligently, they don't last long. People don't want to squad with them, and people don't want to have them around. So we really don't have that kind of problem. If somebody's going to get hot and heavy over a level 1 bad call, they've got other issues.
Yeah.
That's good.
Wanting to do it.
Okay.
I-
Well, this is kind of my first off season because last year was my first beginning year, and I first shot USPSA in July, but I wasn't really into it. So I got into the sport somewhere in October, and then when I really got fired up, off season for everybody just started. So I really never had off season last year. I just did dry fire every day since October. I didn't care if it was December or what. I went to the match even if it's snowing. And this is now my first one, and I'm gonna have off season from the last week of November to somewhere in January for like a month and a half ish. And first, like Eric said, I'm gonna reload a bunch, and workout is one of the big one. But this off season, I wanna tweak out my gears. I ordered double alpha med pouch. I'm currently using, is it Boss or something? Is it Boss?
Ghost. You're using the Ghost holsters.
Ghost, right, yeah. I was using Ghost neck pouches, but I'm going to experiment with more gears. And I'm definitely going to have like 2-3 weeks that I'm almost never going to touch my gun. No dry fire, nothing at all. And just focus on my wife because I'm newly wed, only 3 months now. And
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of
wanting.
school too.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but then this off season, what I really want to do is just keep being motivated. Yeah, keep being motivated because, like I said, since my shooting was serious from last October to what now, I think it was in May, I hit this time period where I got really sick of it. So how do you call it? Burnt out. I got burnt out this after Oregon State Championship because who's that lawyer? What
Range lawyer.
Range
Range
lawyer
lawyer.
hit me hard over there. So I got so
I'm going to
pissed.
tell him about that.
So I got so pissed, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna do it. Like this is like useless. I spent so much time. I'm not getting the result I wanted. So I hit that burnout for about 2 weeks, and then I got back to the game again. But one of the shooter in Washington State, he won like 4th or 5th at Revolver Nationals. He's like really good shooter, and he told me, hey dude, you gotta have time where you don't touch your gun at least for 2 weeks, and that's gonna be upcoming November, December time. And I was gonna say something, yeah. And there's a team called Team Gata, this area, and they are still challenge type of shooters. And there's junior shooters, really young shooters, and I want to mentor them. So how I'm gonna mentor them is by making huge video collection. That's gonna be another mission for me. I'm not gonna shoot live fire, dry fire, stuff like that, but I'm gonna make a huge collection of this analysis video. So it's a shooting video, bunch of slow motion videos, and I'm gonna put these categories, different techniques, to control reload and stuff like that. And I'm gonna put all the world champions and top shooters, any people who has top skills, they're gonna be in the video. So it's gonna be my off season, just bunch of videos, workout. How about you, Wyatt?
Mine has been a little bit different. So I started, like you, I started in, let's see, November is when I kind of got my USPSA membership. And so I've kind of been running pretty much every day at dry fire, about an hour since November of last year. And then I stopped in August or so, right after Range Lawyer beat me at Utah. He got some payback.
Is this what bonded you two together?
I mean, after Idaho, I think he kind of deserved that a lot. So I think that was pretty good by him. But and I don't even know if he'll listen to this. I don't know if he reloads much more anymore. But so I've kind of been dry firing ever since then. And it's not that I got burnt out. I just kind of stopped doing it. I went on vacation for a couple of weeks, and then I went out of country for a couple months, and it was just kind of one thing after another. I'm going to show my training plan for the next, basically leading up to my next major match. And if anyone's just listening to this on audio, then I guess you're not going to be able to see this. So you should be able to see Juani right there. And so I'm going to just open up my. Okay, so you can see this right here. This is leading up to Area 2, which is the 4th, 5th, and 6th of March. I'll probably arrive there the Thursday right there. But you can see that this is basically my schedule. It starts January 14th. That's my plan, is to start it then. And it begins with a match. It's the Armory match. It's just a local indoor match. And then I dry fire. My plan is 45 minutes at night and then 45 minutes in the morning, so an hour and a half a day. And that's every day. And then I have matches lined up, exactly what I'm going to do right there. And then my live fire practice starts February 3rd, and that's every Wednesday and Sunday. And then I have a match the second Sunday. Anyway, so I have all my matches planned out, and then my pistol practices I have planned out as far as what I'm going to be doing each day that I dry fire or I pistol practice. So it could be, my plan is to run it in blocks. So 2 weeks, basically I'll run a 2-week block where the first week I focus on building up a specific speed to a drill. So or an aspect of it. So if I'm really lacking in transition speed or wide transition speed, I'll work on the speed aspect of that using a par timer to basically drill that time down as much as I can. And then the next week I'll do a consistency drills, basically to build consistency at a slower time than the time that I have for my fastest time. And so that's kind of my plan as far as blocks go. And then I've been really working on eating healthier. So I meal prep Sundays for the whole week, and then working out, doing that type of stuff. I've been working a lot on grip strength, and I talked with Juani a couple times about it, as far as like different workouts to do with grip strength. So that's kind of been my main focus for the off season so far. But like I said, I've never done one. I think that I'll probably still shoot indoor matches twice a month, and I probably won't take a break from those, just because they're Thursdays, and it's like I have nothing better to do on a Thursday night. So
I'm gonna continue on shooting the matches. I'm just not gonna put in the match prep that I was during the summer.
Exactly.
It's pretty much show up, see my friends, kind of stay a little frosty. But that's not gonna go on. I mean, like Juani had mentioned, when I first started shooting, I did not stop. It didn't matter if I had to wear snowboard boots and snow gear to shoot, I would. And I'm going to show you a picture here of what I'm not going to do. So I just do, let's see here. How do you do a screen share?
Top left, green screen, click it, screen share.
Yeah, it's screen. Yeah, the button's grayed out.
You probably can't do it then.
Bummer. Anyways, I was going to show some pictures of just how cold it gets here in Idaho. But I'm going to keep shooting my matches. Can I talk about our little preseason rendezvous that we're going to try and do?
Yeah, I mean, do you want me to talk about it, or do you want to talk about it?
Well, I'll bring it up, and then you can go with it.
Okay.
So we, and this is Wyatt's idea, and it's fantastic, and I don't know why we never thought about this, but, Juani's in Washington, I'm in Idaho, and Wyatt's over in Utah. And this preseason, we're going to, before, shooting starts to pick up, we're all going to get together at a undisclosed location, and just have like a 2,000 round weekend, man. Just go spend all day at the range and test each other out and, you know, help each other. And anyways, this is Wyatt's idea. I'll let him tell the rest.
Basically, the idea, I read it on the internet in an undisclosed location also, and it was kind of an idea brought forward by a really good shooter, and it was just an idea of a training camp. And you basically go there and you just live at the range for 3 or 4 days, and you just shoot 1,000 rounds a day, just of pure practice. And so basically my dad, me, Eric, and Juani are going to meet up at this undisclosed location and just shoot the toughest stuff we can figure out. So strong hand only plates at 25 yards, build drills at 50 yards, partials at 35 yards, just stuff that's really tough. And I think that will probably help us prepare for Area 1 better than we probably could in any other way. Just with 4 of us really working hard together, it's like we're going to learn more in that weekend than I think we would learn at any other time. And the cool thing is we could stay at whoever's house we're going to. I mean, I'm not going to say anything about that, and we can dry fire the whole night that we're there, and then we can shoot the whole next day. And then we can dry fire, and we can talk about what we're learning and talk about different things that we do. And I think it'll just be a really good experience to, you know, basically help us before Area 1.
Yeah, I'm really excited, mainly to get a critique from you two guys and kind of get me going in a direction. You know, we're going to do it pretty early on, and so it'll kind of set the tone of what I'm going to do, preparing for the big match schedule that I have coming up. So.
And you better be shooting Area 2, dude. Get in on that, and berries.
I got to get signed up for berries.
Dude, we got 3 people left in our squad. I mean, there's plenty of room for you.
Yeah. And Juani, have you signed up for berries yet? The steel?
No money.
Oh.
Bummer.
My wife's not.
We'll set up a GoFundMe. Get Juani to Utah berries.
Yeah, my wife's not making enough money for me, so.
Your sugar mama?
But you're shooting Area 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, but along the lines of that, and Juani touched on this, and I totally spaced. I was going to talk about that in my off season. The number one thing you can do in the off season is keep your family happy, because they need to put up with you in the summertime when you're gone every weekend.
Very true.
And yeah, so use this off season time to make your family happy. Let them know you're still there, because once the summer hits and spring hits, we're disappearing. So.
Yep.
Yeah, and I forgot one thing to say about off-season too. So 2 days ago, I shot a local match. I shot Glock 35 limited division.
Oh, God.
It was hella fun. You'll have to try that. Change your division just for one day. Try, if you have Glock 19, whatever, high point, just bring it out of your safe and just shoot it once, at least once.
You know what? That's a great segue into the next episode. I think we should have Kenny, Master Kenny, on the show. He was a big-time limited hardcore shooter, and he still is. But after Nats, I talked him into shooting low cap. I wanted him to shoot production, but he bought a single stack major instead. And just to see his mind blown at the differences, and just like, you know, I think it'd be good to have him on the show and talk about switching divisions, because I think that's important. Sometimes you just need to change it up, you know what I mean, to keep it fun and keep it exciting. So I think maybe that's a good segue into the next episode.
I agree. Do we want to talk about matches that we're going to be doing this upcoming year?
Sure.
For different major matches?
I'm going to be spending a lot of time in Utah by the sounds of it, hopefully. I want to do Area 1, which is going to be in Utah, West Valley, just outside of Salt Lake. I want to do the Berries Steel Open. You know, we don't have anything close by that compares to the Pro-Am in Florida, but I've heard phenomenal things about the Berries, you know, format, the all-steel, and so I'm excited to do that. I haven't signed up yet because I haven't gotten a time off approved yet. But so that's those 2 matches. I'd like to do the USPSA State in West Valley at the same club. They do a phenomenal job. I've been there the last three years, and I love it each time. And I might do the Utah IDPA state match as well, depending on how things go. And then, of course, yeah, and then I'd love to make Oregon State, Idaho State, and Washington State USPSA matches. But we'll just see how things plan out. I'm not going to Nats all the way in Illinois. It's too far and too expensive. I want to see them bring it back out here soon and then make that a go.
My matches, I just have priorities because I'm not sure of my budget for the next year. because I currently don't have a job. I'm a student. So my priority will be USPSA Production Nationals and IPSC Production Nationals and Area 1 and a couple of other like Washington State USPSA and Oregon State one. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. Just remember, you got a place to stay when you come down here to Utah and Idaho, man.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I see that little blue couch in the back. That's where I'm going to be sleeping when I come up for some Washington matches.
Yep.
Exactly.
Wyatt and I are going to spoon on it. Is that a pull-out?
You know
Is that a pull-out bed?
You know.
So,
anyway.
Anyway.
My matches start with Area 2 in March. Which is an issue for me because I have to train in February and January, which sucks. I'm going to Oregon State, Utah State, Idaho State, A1, A2, and Berries, which is going to be awesome. Any of you guys want to sign up for Berries? We're going to put it in the show notes, or we can put it in like the YouTube notes or whatever we call that. I don't know, the info thing. But sign up for the Berries match. It is like 600 rounds of kick-ass steel shooting. So
how many days?
2 days, and so they have 6 stages that are Pro-Am stages, 6 stages that are USPSA stages with all steel, and then 6 stages that are steel challenge stages. And then they add all those up and they figure out a grand total winner from the 3 divisions. So you can, I don't want to say you can tank one of the steel challenge, but you can get 3rd place in the steel challenge and then 1st place in the Pro-Am and still win overall, even though you didn't win 1st place in all of them. And then they have this super cool stage that's a squad versus squad. So the whole squad lines up their guns on a table, and you have to run up to the table single filely and shoot like 4 targets and then run back. So it's like a relay race with loaded guns. Oh, it is the coolest thing on this earth. And just so everyone knows, my squad won last year, and it's going to happen again. So you guys better start building up squads to...
Juanny, let's start our own squad.
Do it.
That's a pistol match, right?
Yeah, it's a pistol match. But you can also use pistol caliber carbines, so you can use rifles that are calibrated or that have 9mm caliber. So it is the coolest thing on this earth.
Juanny, let's start an Asian-only squad. We'll get your GM involved.
What about Range Lawyer? Where's he going to go?
He's white. He can squad with you.
Okay, cool, gotcha.
He's grade A honky.
Anyways.
It was a good episode, man.
That was a good one.
Good place to stop. So, all right, we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
All right, see you.